Well, hey everybody, Andy Kvernen here with another Cornerstone Connection daily devotional. I remember in my early years of ministry, I would sit in my office and I'd have this big long to-do list and all the things that I could do in ministry. And I really thought, it's my responsibility to make sure all this stuff gets done. And in fact, not just to make sure it gets done, but to do it myself. I mean, why would a church pay me to be in ministry if I wasn't going to do the work of the ministry, right? And so I remember thinking about that, doing that. And as life went by, I started to realize, there's actually more to do than what I have time for. And it's not that I wasn't willing to work hard or to exert myself or those things, but there's just always more to do in ministry. And I started to realize if I don't get other people to help me, the ministry is actually not only gonna maybe not be done, but it's not gonna be done as well because I'm gonna be stretched too thin and I'm not gonna be able to do what's necessary. And friends, that's a constant tension for a pastor. It's a constant tension I face, today is delegating ministry to others. And yet, it's a necessary tension, and not just for pastors, but also for all of us who have any sort of leadership responsibilities. The art of delegation is really critical. And it doesn't come from 20th century, 21st century leadership books. It actually comes from the Old Testament. And I want to bring us to Exodus chapter 18 here today. And let me set the stage. Here's Moses leading the people out of Egypt into the wilderness and towards the promised land. And God has been all kinds of faithful for the people. And so there's many great things that are happening, but people are people. And so they're coming to Moses saying, hey, you're the leader. We need some help with this situation. We've got a land dispute. We've got a familial dispute. We've got different struggles that are happening. We need you to be the judge and to help us to figure this out. Well, as this is happening, Joseph's father-in-law, Jethro, comes to town. And he's heard about what God has done through his son-in-law and his daughter's family. He's starting to, he wants to see for himself, what's this all about? What has God actually done? And he comes and he's delighted. God has worked powerfully. But Jethro hangs out for a while, and this is what happens. In Exodus 18:13, it says this. It says, the next day, Moses sat to judge the people. So he's just doing what he does. He's following his routine. He's got big responsibility. He sits down to judge the people. It says, and the people stood around Moses, how long? From morning till evening. All Moses is doing all day is being a judge for the people. Think he's got anything else to do? Probably, but he's not able to. So it says, verse 14, when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he was doing for the people, he said, what is this that you're doing for the people? Why do you sit alone and all the people stand around you from morning till evening? Like, hey, bozo, what a great thing for a father-in-law to say. Moses, come on, man, what are you doing? This is not smart. Verse 15, Moses said to his father-in-law, because the people come to me because the people come to me to inquire of God, and when they have a dispute, they come to me, and I decide between one person and another. And I make them known the statutes of God and his laws. Jethro, I'm the one that God appointed to lead this people. I'm the one that is here. Of course I have to do this. I mean, who else is going to do it? Verse 17, Moses' father-in-law said to him, what you're doing is not good. That is not cool, Moses. That's the wrong way to think about this. You and the people with you will certainly wear yourselves out, for the thing is too heavy for you. You're not able to do it alone. Now obey my voice. I love that. Fathers-in-law out there, maybe not the wisest move to tell your son-in-law, obey my voice. And yet, Jethro has that relational clout with Moses. He says, now obey my voice. I will give you advice, and God be with you. What does he say? God be with you. He's for Moses. He wants the best for Moses. I think Moses understands that here. He says, you shall represent the people before God and bring their cases to God, and you shall warn them about the statutes and the laws and make them known the way in which they must walk and what they must do. Moreover, look for able men from all the people, men who fear God and who are trustworthy and hate a bribe, and place such men over the people as chiefs of thousands and of hundreds and of fifties and of tens. Look, Moses, appoint some leaders to help you. You can't do everything. Get some good people that are with you, that are following the law, that are committed to it, and give them responsibility. He says, and let them judge the people at all times. Every great matter they shall bring to you. Moses, you do have a unique role in the kingdom. You have a unique role with the people of God. The big stuff, yeah, you should weigh in on, but there's a whole bunch of other things that you can let others deal with, and you can trust them. Every great matter they shall bring to you, but any small matter they shall decide themselves. And so it'll be easier for you, and they will bear the burden with you. And if you do this, God will direct you. You can trust Him. You'll be able to endure, and all this people also will go to their place in peace. The people actually need more than what Moses could give, don't they? They need more availability amongst their leaders. And until Moses was willing to delegate those responsibilities, they weren't going to have it. And so verse 24 in chapter 18 of Exodus says, "So Moses listened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, chiefs of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and of tens. And they judged the people at all times. And any hard case they brought to Moses, but any small matter they decided themselves. Then Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went away to his own country." It's a happy ending, isn't it? Moses does what his father-in-law advises him to do. I don't quite know what would have happened if he said no to his father-in-law. That's probably never a great idea either. But here Moses says, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Let's do this. And the people of God are better off for it. Well, let me ask you, in your sphere of influence, maybe it's in your home, maybe you're a mom and you're or a dad at home, and you're trying to manage the house and keep it all clean, and you're making stuff happen, but you're experiencing some burnout, some bitterness because you feel like nobody's helping you. Let me ask you, are you giving up control? Are you inviting others into the process? Are you giving your kids responsibilities and then letting them run with it? Maybe that'd be a good idea for you. Are you a leader in your business or on a sports team or wherever it is, friends? As pastors, I'm preaching to myself here. We got to get other people involved. One, because God's gifted them to be involved. God's equipped them. And unless we're sharing those responsibilities, those people don't have an opportunity to exercise the gifts that God has given. But two, we can't do it all. You can't do it all. I can't do it all. God can do it all through us. Everything that God desires to do, He can do through us. But He's going to ask us to delegate. Who are you delegating to today? How can you do that better? Let's trust God for the work of God with the people of God today and always. God bless you, friends. Have a great day. And Lord willing, we'll see you again soon on the Cornerstone Connection Daily Devotional.